everyone, my name is Chinu Sachdeva Jain and I'm from Exemplar Point, and in today's session I'm going to take up the very first section of the English paper, which is the reading section. When we come to the reading section, as students we think we do not need any preparation in advance for this particular section. But here we go wrong. There are a few steps which we need to know to crack the reading section and get a 100% net score in this very section. To talk about this section comprises of 20 marks. This section has two types of passages. The very first one is a discursive passage and the second one is a case-based passage, and each of them is of 10 marks. When we talk about discursive passage, this passage talks about arguments, interventions and our opinions. And when we talk about the case-based passage, this particular passage is based on a case study. Now, going to my steps further, I will talk about how you need to know, what you need to know before attempting the reading section. Let us start by talking about our first step, which is skimming and scanning. Whenever we get the paper, what we do is, as children, we go on to the question first and then we come back to the passage. Here we do our very first mistake of not doing the reading section properly. As children, we first skim and scan the passage. Now we wonder, what is skimming and what is scanning? When it comes to skimming, you need to give a thorough reading of the passage, which involves a very quick reading of each and every line, and that will give you an idea about what is the passage talking about. What is the main idea of the passage, whether it is for the topic or against the topic, or it is neutral. And when it comes to scanning, we need to scan the important information from the passage. When did a particular thing happen? How did that particular thing happen? What actually happened is what we are going to do in our second reading, which would give scanning. Now, talking about the very first step, reading and understanding the passage, we should, as I already told you, skim the passage, which will give us an idea about what is the passage talking about. So, skim the passage to get the main idea. Second one, we need to identify whether it is for or against the topic. While giving our first reading, very thorough one, it will give you an idea about what is it talking about, what is the main idea of the passage. Second one, whether it is talking in favor of that topic or against that topic, or rather it is being neutral. We need to underline the important keywords, facts, opinions and arguments. Now this comes under the scanning. As children, we should make sure that we are giving two readings to the passage, because most of the answers would not be the direct answers. You would have to get the idea after reading the passage. So let us have this example passage excerpt. Now let us see what these lines talk about. Social media has changed the way people communicate. While it connects individuals across the world, it has also reduced face-to-face interactions, leading to social isolation. Now, by giving a first reading to these three lines, I get to know that these three lines talk about social media. In the second line, I get to know it is talking something about in favor of social media. And in the third line and the second line, I get to know it has something in contradiction as well. So let me read again. Social media has changed the way people communicate. While it connects individuals across the world, it has also reduced face-to-face interactions, leading to social isolation. As I said, there will be passages which will be for the topic or against the topic, or they would be talking both sides. These three lines also do the same. Please remember these three lines, because in my further steps, I am going to take you back here. Main idea, of course, the impact of social media. Let's see the arguments. The first one is it connects people globally, and the negative is it reduces the real life interactions. All right. Now let us go to the second step of the reading section. First one, just remember we are skimming and scanning the passage. The second one is now let us go back to the questions, understand them well, and go back to the passage again and find the answers. So step 2 says, read the questions carefully and locate the answers. The second reading would be the focused search. And when I say focused search, remember scanning, because skimming just involves giving you only and only the main idea of the topic. But scanning would give you the details of the passage. When did a particular thing happen? How did a particular thing happen? What actually happened? So, in our second reading, we must identify keywords in the question, because whatever question would ask you, you would definitely find certain keywords in the passage also. So, to get the quick answers, what we need to do is, we need to identify the keywords in the question. Then, we need to scan the passage to locate the relevant information. Coming ahead, we need to also differentiate between direct and inference-based questions. When I say direct and inference-based questions, here comes our main task. There will be few questions which will give you the direct answers, but there will be certain questions which will be inference-based, based on your understanding. And as I said before, that whatever you were doing so far, you were reading the questions first, then going to the passage. We need to stop this from now onwards. What we need to do is, the very first thing is skimming the passage carefully. Then scanning the questions as well, the passage very carefully, because only that thing will help us answer these inference-based questions. Now let us go ahead. Example question. How has social media affected human interaction? Remember social media, we just talked about it on the previous slide. Let us see how we need to answer this question. When it comes to the keywords, we have social media and interaction. Remember, I told you we need to identify the keywords. The keywords are, of course, the social media and interaction. Answer. It connects people worldwide but reduces face-to-face communication, leading to isolation. Remember, we talked about these two lines only in our previous slide, and that is how we need to answer our question. As I said, first skimming the passage carefully to get the main idea behind it. Second, scanning the keywords properly, the main relevant information properly to answer the direct questions as well as the inference-based questions. Now, this will take me to my final step, and that step is to write the answers in your own words. Now, this is also very, very important. When we write answers to the questions given in the passage, we need to know that we must change the answers in our own words. That is very important. We need to be concise and precise. Do not copy paste the exact lines from the passage. And do you know why? It leaves a very bad impression on the person checking your paper. Reason being, we know English and we can definitely transform our answers in our own words. Paraphrase using synonyms and simpler words. We need to paraphrase our answers using synonyms and simpler words. I'll tell you how. We need to keep answers short, direct, and within the word limit. This is a very important thing when it comes to the English paper. To every section, you will be given a certain word limit, which we must follow as students. So, for answers limiting us to 30 to 40 words, we need to remember that we are not taking our answers over 3 to 4 lines. Now let us see how we need to write the answer in our own words, which I told you I'm going to explain. The incorrect way to write an answer for the impact of social media is social media connects people but also reduces face-to-face interactions leading to social isolation. Now these lines we saw in the excerpt, these lines same. But we must see how we should write in our own words. The correct way to write in our own words is, while social media helps in global connection, it decreases personal interactions, making people feel isolated. I did not do anything. I just changed a few words, few synonyms, like as I said, reduces being changed to decreases, using connectors such as while. So this way we need to write the answers in our own way, and that is a very important thing, because I see most of the children copy pasting the answers from the passage, and as I've already mentioned, this leaves a very bad impression on the person checking the paper, because we are not using our own efforts. We are not putting efforts in writing the answers. What we need to do, I did not do anything big in this. What I just did was changing few words, adding few synonyms and a few connectors. So let us quickly revise our 3 steps to crack the reading section. Very first being skimming the passage to get the main idea of the passage, scanning the passage to get the relevant information about the questions, and third is writing the answers in our own words. I hope that you're not going to forget this. And trust me, if we are following these 3 steps carefully, we can definitely hope for a net 20 on 20 score. So now I'm leaving you all with this passage question to do on your own and see how many marks you get. So this is our passage. Based on the passage, we have a few questions which I leave on you. Let's see. See, briefly explain the unique ecosystem of backwaters in 30 to 40 words. Remember the word limit. Just remember, before attempting this passage, just remember my 3 steps: skimming, scanning, and writing the answers in our own words. If you follow these 3 steps, you will surely be getting a net score in the reading section. So for more such videos, please follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Thank you very much.